We're turning our attention now to Arizona, where pro se defendant Lori Daybell is back in court today for day 4 of the cult mom conspiracy trial. And we have just learned that the first witness of the day is Adam Cox, Lori, the defendant's brother.
Yeah, that cross-examination is going to be something. We're still about 15 minutes away from the court-imposed delay. So as soon as that elapses at the top of the hour, we will head to Arizona. Right now, we have been listening to testimony from yesterday, and we're going to listen to a little bit of Christina Atwood. She's a unique witness.
Yeah, she's a former friend of Lori's, and there were some audio issues yesterday, so this is the first time that we're airing it here on Court TV. She discussed several meetings with Lori and other women, during which Lori expressed concerns about Charles, her 4th husband, being possessed by dark spirits. Take a listen.
Did that help refresh your recollection as to whether or not Lori had ever told you that her husband, Charles, was possessed?
Yes.
And did it help refresh your recollection as to whether or not Lori Vallow had told you that her husband was possessed by some spirit that had a name?
Yes.
And at that time, you could not recall what the name was?
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Did you hear Lori speak about Charles being possessed more than once?
Yes.
On more than one occasion?
Yes.
Did she tell you, as well as the other women who were at this meeting in February, that her husband was possessed?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't just you in a private conversation?
Correct.
She was open about it?
Yes.
When you would try to reach Lori, did she have multiple phone numbers that you could call?
Yes.
Do you recall if she had more than 2 phones?
I know 2 cell phones.
Okay. And did she also potentially have a 3rd line? A 3rd phone number that might have been a home number?
Yes.
Okay. So at least 2 different cell phones that you could call her?
Yes.
Was she working at the time?
Not that I recall.
Did you know her to work?
No.
So to your understanding, they were both personal cell phones?
Correct.
Like a work phone that was given to her?
Yes.
Did you have another meeting that you recalled where it was like a Zoom type meeting where maybe Serena had called in or done a team Zoom meeting during the pandemic?
Yes.
Do you recall where that meeting happened? Did anyone meet in person during that one?
Not that I recall.
Okay. Everyone was attending via Zoom?
Yes.
And during this meeting, do you recall Lori again talking about Charles being possessed?
Yes.
And being controlled by dark spirits?
Yes.
Did you ever participate in any castings?
Oh.
Let me ask it this way. Did Lori ever talk to you about casting?
Yes.
What did you understand that to mean?
It was praying for dark spirits to be cast out of someone.
Were you ever involved in a casting for her husband?
I was in her presence when she prayed for that.
Were you ever present when people were assigned different elements to be part of the casting?
I don't recall.
Do you recall when you were present for that casting? Do you recall which one of these meetings you may have been present for that casting? We have a meeting in February, as you said, and a Teams meeting. Was it at either of those?
The last time that I got together with her at the Sulema's house, we had all got together and prayed.
Okay.
And
let's talk about the last time.
okay.
Was the last time you all got together on June 9th of 2019?
Yes.
And you said that was at Zulema's house as well?
Yes.
Who invited you to that?
I don't recall.
Who was at the meeting?
It's the first time I'd ever met Alex, her brother. Zulema was there. I believe her niece, Melanie Boudreau, was there. Nicole Earle and Melanie Gibb. And there was another woman that was a friend of one of the ladies, but I can't recall her name.
So, was this the first time you met Melanie Boudreau?
No, I'd met her another time.
And do you recall when that was?
That was at Alex's house, I believe.
Was that one of the two?
In between those two, the first and the last, I believe there was 3 meetings.
Okay. And you said it was the first time you met Alex Cox.
Correct.
How did you learn he was related to Lori?
He was introduced to me.
Okay. As her brother?
Yes.
Can you tell us your impression of Alex Cox? What was the impression you got from meeting him and being with him for a night?
I was put off by it.
Why?
He was pretty loud and outspoken, I guess. And I was very uncomfortable with what he was talking about.
Okay. Let's kind of go through what happened at this meeting. At this meeting, did Lori still express that her husband, Charles, was possessed?
Yes.
And what were you guys, what was happening at this meeting? I know you said there was a prayer. What was happening?
We were asked to fast and pray for her family, and so we'd come together fasting, and we, as I recall, gathered outside and had a prayer together. And I believe Lori was the one that said the prayer. And then we went in and broke our fast and ate and then visited.
Okay. Was Alex part of that prayer outside?
Yes.
We're hitting the pause button on this testimony. We're bringing in civil rights and trial attorney Joe Richardson. Joe, she seems a bit nervous about testifying about what the meetings were like with Lori.
Yeah, for sure. She does. And she talks about how, Alex made her uncomfortable, how she remembers Lori saying that, her husband was, that Charles was possessed and that we all need to pray for him. But she's also participating a bit, at least as it pertains to the prayer side. So it's interesting, obviously the prosecution, she's not on trial or whatever else, but she is a little bit ginger about how she's kind of walking in this area because she is kind of there with her, pointing out some things like she's with them, but not necessarily of them.
No, we know that Lori did not cross-examine her. Why do you think she was reluctant to engage with her former friend and prayer buddy?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, because she's not a skilled attorney, right? And it would seem like for her standing in the position that she is with it, making the claims that she would be licking her chops to try to cross-examine and to know where she was actually going. But it was interesting that she passed on that entirely, and I think that would speak volumes to the jury.
Oh, yeah, because it almost makes them think that this testimony stands, that she doesn't have any objection to it, and she can't even bring it up really in closing arguments because it won't be evidence that's facts that are in evidence.